Hello, welcome to Yoga Nidra. So, yoga is said to be a practice, a path to our true self, that part of us that is timeless and eternal, that part of us that is feels connected to everything, that sees from a place of oneness. And yoga gives us a couple of maps for this. And one of the maps we've already talked about is the Maya koshas. When we go through a yoga nidra practice and we go through those different layers of awareness, we start with the physical body, then we move through the prana, the breath body, through the mind body and thoughts, through emotions, and we get to that bliss body and that peaceful body. So it's like peeling back the layers of an onion. So, the other map that yoga gives us is the map of the chakra system, the seven energy centers that line up through the spine from the base of the spine right up to the very crown chakra in the top of the head. And so, this gives us another kind of map for our mind to imagine and get in touch with, and for our body to feel as well, because we can feel these energetic centers. But eventually, just like the kosha map, it dissolves as we get to that place of oneness. And so the chakra system is a way of understanding both our health as well as tuning into some of the imbalances that we might sense in our body. But it's quite a complex system, and it's not one size fits all. And one of the mistakes people make is they read a little bit about the chakras, and there's lots of information in books and online, and then they think, oh, well, I have a problem with in this area of my body, it must be this chakra, so da 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 da. They tick off their little list of what's going on. And it's deeper than that. It is a listening to the wisdom because it's unique for each person. I mean, there's some universal principles, but it really is adapted, just like yoga is, to each person. And a lot of us live pretty fast-paced lives, although some of us have slowed down with COVID, but it's amazing how busy we can still get. And nonetheless, we're faced with a lot of challenges. And so we meet these challenges through the veil of our previous experience and through previous feelings and emotions around those experiences. And quite often, those past experiences, those past feelings can compromise our aliveness in this moment. And so, if we are to transform our outer life, we have to do the inner work. And yet, to do the inner work, we have to be aware of all the stuff that's happening in our outer life and our outer world. So, it's really this sense of being aware on a lot of different levels. So the chakra system gives us a map for this journey of healing both our inner world and our outer world, as well as integrating the body, the mind, and the spirit. Again, that oneness. And so the chakra system can be a way of inquiring or getting curious and diagnosing what's happening, whether it's a health problem, a physical problem, an emotional problem, or something else. So we can diagnose what's happening physically and energetically in our body, as well as the map to healing as well. As I said, it takes time and a lot of practice and deep understanding of the principles. One of the best books that I've found to explore the chakras is Eastern Body, Western Mind, and that's by Anahata Judith. And I will send that out in my email to you. It's a really fabulous book that looks at the chakras from a lot of different points of view. But this evening we're going to start in a standing position because the first chakra is all about being rooted and grounded, connected to the earth. So I'm going to invite you to come into a standing position. And you'll probably want to take your socks off so that you can have that really nice sense of your bare feet on your mat. It's always a really nice practice to do outside with your feet on the earth herself, but for now I think most of us are inside. So standing with your feet about hip width apart and approximately parallel. So it's that pose of the mountain. And let's start with a deep centering breath. So breathing in deeply, pausing, savoring that breath. And as you exhale, let that breath go and just let the weight of your body sink down into the earth through the soles of your feet. And then let yourself breathe naturally and just sensing how your body connects to your mat through the bare soles of your feet. Just that sensation, finding your breath. And then let's just shift a little bit from side to side, shifting from one foot to the other. And again, tuning into that sensation. And you might synchronize that with your breath as well. So inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. And we also know that any kind of a rocking motion is very soothing to our nervous system. All right, so let's come back to center. Take another cleansing breath, breathing in, feel that sense of expansion, new energy, new prana. Exhale, let that energy drop all the way down through the soles of your feet into the ground. Breathing. And now we're going to rock forwards and backwards. So as you inhale, bring your weight forward onto the balls of your feet. And as you exhale, shifting into the heels, lift and spread the toes. Inhaling onto the balls of your feet. Yeah, you might start to feel that wobbliness of your balance there. And just feel the articulation of all the bones and muscles in your feet so we're again warming up our feet. We're adding some movement, increasing the circulation. And then coming back to center where you feel evenly balanced front to back and left to right. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let that weight settle down through the soles of your feet. Another practice that's nice to do, we won't do it this evening, but I just wanted to mention it in terms of being grounded, is to use some kind of ball, a tennis ball. I have a lacrosse ball here, but it's really nice to give yourself a little tiny roll and foot rub. So just taking a couple minutes. As I said, we're not going to do that there tonight. I just wanted to mention it so that you get a sense of what that's like. All right. So again, getting from our feet into our legs here, they're really feeling that solid foundation. So first chakra energy, all about being rooted, feeling safe, feeling supported, having that solid sense of standing on our own 2 feet. The element of the first chakra is the earth herself, so feeling that earth energy. So we're going to imagine that we are jumping in slow motion on a trampoline, only we're not actually going to jump. But what I want you to do is, as you inhale, Straighten your legs and imagine that pushing into the surface of the trampoline. As you exhale, bend your knees, that landing into the trampoline. And as you inhale, straighten the legs, exhale, bending down. So really feel on the inhale that you're really pushing your feet, feeling your legs strong. Now, you can also add your arms here because we probably wouldn't jump on a trampoline without our arms. So inhale, stretch up, fly up into the sky. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Beautiful. Inhale, stretch up all the way up. And exhale. Continue to feel that beautiful grounded strength in your legs. Inhaling up and exhaling down. A few more times, inhaling up and exhaling down. Last time, inhale all the way up. Oh, reach up, touch the sky, and then exhale. Just release your arms down. Now, you want to have just a tiny little bit of softness behind your knees, so don't press backwards. But you want to have that grounded strength in your legs. And so feeling that stability of the first chakra energy, that feeling of groundedness, of safety, of belonging. We belong to the earth. We're connected to the earth. And then the next chakra is Svadhisthana chakra, just kind of beneath your navel, above your pubic bone here. And so this chakra, that energy, it's the energy of water, and it's connected to our sensuality and our sexuality, our creativity. So just let yourself begin to slowly move through your hips and your pelvis. And just find that really sensual movement. Let yourself relax and go. And feel the flow of water through the hips and the pelvis. So it's kind of very different from that solid, grounded energy we had. It's very fluid and sensual. It allows us to move into that creative place, whether it's physically creating a new life or creating a painting, dancing, music, whatever it is. And it's related to our feelings and our ability to feel in the world. All right, let's come back to the stability of our legs and feet for a moment. But still, as you breathe, feeling that kind of sense of freedom throughout your hips and your pelvis. And third chakra is Manipura. So it's that solar plexus, and we've worked a little bit on this solar plexus area here. And a nice one to work with this is cat and cow pose, but we're going to do cat and cow in a standing position. I'm going to move sideways so you can see me. You're going to generously bend your knees and take your hands just above your knees to your thighs here. With your thumbs on the outside. Your feet are at least hip width apart. Now, as you inhale, you're going to tip the tailbone up, expand your belly, look upwards. As you exhale, you're drawing in through that solar plexus area in the belly, and you're rounding the back, dropping the head, dropping the tail. And then as you inhale, again, arching the back, looking up, heart center is open. Exhale as you draw in. And again, just finding that movement throughout your spine. As you exhale, draw in really as tight as you can there. And then as you inhale, coming back up. Let's do that a few more times, feeling that sense of drawing into your center. Manipura Chakra, all about drawing into that place of inner strength, our center. And the element is fire here, the fire of our willpower. Last time. And then finally, slowly rolling all the way up your spine and coming back to the pose of the mountain again. And just take a moment just to, again, tune into that feeling of your feet rooted to the ground, softness behind your knees, the fluid movement of breath through your hips and your pelvis. And each time you exhale, that sense of drawing into your center, into Manipura Chakra. And so these three lower chakras give us a sense of groundedness, that fluidity and creativity, and that sense of inner power to take action in the world. So then we can move into our heart center, which we explored last week. So that's as far as we're going to go. We're just going to really explore, in terms of movement, these three lower chakras this evening. And now we're going to do some breath work in supported bound angle pose. So you will need your bolster, a cushion, maybe a couple of blocks here. So your bolster is placed vertically on your mat. The little cushion for your head or a folded blanket. And then you'll also need some blocks or some large books or some cushions, whatever you have to support your legs here. All right, so just waiting for everybody to get gathered. So in this pose, you bring the soles of your feet together. That's the bound angle part of it. You get that really nice opening through the hips and the inner thighs. But we want to make sure that your thighs and your knees are supported here. And then once you have that, gently begin to lean back. When you get to your elbows, and you might find, oh, this is a little bit sore in my lower back, so lift the pelvis and lengthen the tailbone out a little bit. Now, if you find that it's just too much to have the legs out to the side, you can just stretch the legs out along the ground. So use what works best for you. Remember to adjust your cushion or your pillow so your neck is well supported and that the chin isn't sticking up higher there. You want to draw the chin down towards the collarbones there in the sternum. Arms float out to the sides, palms up. Shoulders can just gently roll out. And it's always nice to take a nice deep cleansing breath again, breathing in, pausing a moment, lovely to fill into that rib cage. And as you exhale, let your body just settle into the support of the bolster, the support of your blocks, and the support of the earth. And let the breath flow freely. And so this is a really lovely pose, as we've done in the past, for breathing into. It's also a lovely pose to be aware, especially these lower chakras, and for opening and balancing some of that energy in the hips and throughout the pelvis, the rib cage, and of course the heart center here as well. But for now, I want you to really focus on that grounded first chakra energy in your legs. So, a couple things we might do is, just before we settle completely, bring your knees back up a little bit towards each other. And then as you exhale, just let them settle back down a bit. Now we want the pelvis to be really heavy here. So we might want to do a squeeze and release here. So inhale, squeeze the buttocks a little bit. And as you exhale, setting the pelvis back down. And just really invite the weight of the pelvic bowl to release. Be aware of the weight of the thighs, the knees. Let the lower legs, the calves, the shins go, ankles and feet. So just take a few breaths here, and each time as you exhale, focus on that really heavy feeling through the legs and the feet and the pelvis. Relax any other tension you become aware of in your body. Feel the breath settling down. And once you have that sense of heaviness in the lower body and the legs, bring that sense of awareness now to the hips and the pelvic area. And see if you can just bring a sense of fluid awareness to your breath there. And so one of the things you might notice as you bring a sense of your awareness there is quite often we naturally tighten up through the glutes and the buttocks. So let the buttocks be soft now. We also have a lot of holding in the pelvic floor and the genital area. So just allow the pelvic floor to soften and breathe. And trust that as we move into these physical sensations, that we also cross over into our feelings and our emotions so that we can start to bring healing at many different levels. We can balance out through these energetic centers. And then finally, bring awareness up to the solar plexus area. Inhale as you feel the rib cage and the lungs expand. And exhale as you feel a sense of simply drawing into that very center, the lower rib cage and the solar plexus. Manipura Chakra. Feeling that sense of returning to center, returning to that place of inner strength and resilience. Continue to allow any holding in your legs, your hips, your pelvis to release. And finally this evening, bring awareness to your heart center, Anahata Chakra, that feeling at the very center of your heart center. And really encouraging that sense of the shoulders to release down the sides of your bolster, so that the rib cage opens, so that the collarbones broaden and expand. Anahata Chakra, associated with the element of air. So invite a sense of lightness and spaciousness into your heart of hearts. Anahata Chakra, associated with love, our ability to receive love and our ability to give love, this reciprocal action of the heart center. And indeed, all of the chakra centers have this sense of reciprocal action. They give out energy and they receive energy every moment, every day. And we can bring awareness to these centers. We can tune into the wisdom of the chakras, both to get curious and find out what's going on, as well as to bring a sense of healing physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And so resting for a few more moments here, maybe expand your awareness to include your sense of your whole body, resting deeply into the support of your bolster, the earth. Relaxing any tension you encounter, softening your face, relaxing any tension in your mouth, your jaw, your eyes. And the invitation with the chakras is always to let go of overthinking and analyze and tune into your sensation in the moment and the insight and intuition that arises from that. All right, let's take a cleansing breath before we release. So deep breath in, then a long, slow exhale all the way out. And then bringing your knees back towards each other, plant your feet on the ground, feel the earth beneath your feet. Press your feet into the earth as you just tip the tailbone up and curl up and lift the pelvis up. And then as you exhale, release it down. And let's do that a few times. It's kind of like bridge pose here. So inhale, press into your feet, curl the tailbone, lift up, press into the ground with your feet, that grounded feeling, feel the solidness in your legs. And then exhale, releasing back down. Last time, inhaling up, curling up, and exhaling back down. Nice. So transition out of this pose by rolling onto your side, and take a moment here just to relax for a moment on your side. Keep your head supported with a pillow or with your arm. I'm just enjoying a few moments here. And then pressing yourself up to a seated position. So we're going to do a sequence of seated postures to continue to open up the hips and to ground, release, and bring awareness to these lower chakras. So we're going to start in staff pose, so your legs extended in front of you. And for most of us, when we do this, we tend to kind of slouch a little bit. It's hard to sit up tall, so you might want to have a folded blanket underneath your hips here. And you might want to have your tie close by. And you might also want to have a block or two close by. So gather your props again. So we're being serenaded tonight. I think my husband is practicing the guitar, so you might just hear that in the background. All right. So take a moment here in staff pose and just plant your fingertips beside your hips for a moment. And think about sitting up nice and tall. And flex your feet. So you're pushing up through the soles of your feet as you draw the toes towards the shins or the knees. Again, feeling that stability of the earth beneath you. So in our standing positions where we're grounding down through our feet, in our seated positions, we ground down through our sit bones, the base of the spine. Finding your breath. You might imagine that energy as you inhale, lifting up your spine, and as you exhale, releasing back down. And then from here, bend your right knee and let the knee release out to the side with the sole of the foot on the inner part of the other leg. Now, if you feel tension or strain either in your knee or your hip here, that's where you're going to use a block to support the outer thigh or the knee in this pose. And then taking your right hand to your right knee. And we're going to just add a slight twist here. So press that hand into the knee and use it to slightly turn the upper body so it's facing directly over the extended leg there. Good. And then take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Now, here's the choice you have here. You can just place your fingertips on the ground here like I am. Or if you'd rather, here's where you can use your tie. So taking the tie around the bottom of your foot. It's nice to wrap it around. And then that extends your reach a little bit. Just be careful if you're using the tie that you're not collapsing into your chest center. So keep that nice upliftment in your heart center. Shoulders relaxed. And be patient and just enjoy the breath. The opening through the right hip and the inner thigh. And that stretch through the back of the left leg. Tuning into the movement of breath. It's a physical sensation. Tuning into the prana, the energy that rides the breath. So learning to pay attention and listen at different levels. Keeping the facial muscles relaxed, And often when we're doing this inner listening work, it's nice to just close our eyes so that we can really pay attention to our inner process, our inner landscape. Your next inhale, let's lift up out of the pose. I'm going to take this into a little bit of a side stretch to open up through the side rib cage. So you're going to slide your left leg out to the side, and then you're going to bring this right foot in here. You can still have it supported with your block or cushion or whatever you're using here. And we're going to add a little twist as well because that helps release around the spine as well. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take your left hand to your right knee. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the sternum lifted. And just gaze beyond your right shoulder for a moment. Watch that you're not rolling to one side or the other. Try to stay balanced between both sit bones. Now we're going to add the side stretch. So inhale that back arm, your right arm up and over. You can let go of the knee and you're coming up and over towards that left leg here. So there's two things happening. You've got this side stretch happening, opening up through the rib cage. You want to be careful though that you're not collapsing towards the ground. So there's also a twisting action of the spine as you rotate the chest up towards the ceiling. Now, if you have strain in your shoulder, you can either rest your hand on your head or even just take it to your shoulder. So please take good care of yourself, especially if you have a shoulder injury. Being kind, being patient. And again, just feel the breath and the shoulders relax. I'm going to root back down into the earth through that right sit bone. Be aware of tension in the face. That often reflects tension or trying too hard. Your next inhale, reaching all the way up, and exhale. Lovely. Ooh. All right. From here to transition, you're going to take both legs in a nice wide V position. Make sure that you are sitting towards the front of your folded blanket so that instead of your hips rolling back, the front of your hips can roll forwards here. And let's just do a little bit of warm up here. So your feet are both flexed, toes up towards the ceiling. If you find that there's too much strain behind your knees, just give a slight bend to your knees a little bit. Warm up into this and then hold. I'm just thinking maybe have either your bolster or a block or two ready for when you come to hold it. So hopefully you've got that within arm's reach. Having to do a little stretch. So as you inhale, we're going to lead with our elbows and you're going to reach all the way up. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Reach, reach, reach. Make the spine nice and long there. And then take the hands, palms to the ground. Inhale, sliding up, back, and reach all the way up. And exhale, folding forward. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling up and exhale, pull in through the lower abdominals here, slide back. Last time, inhaling up, exhale. As you're coming forward, take either your bolster or your block. So the bolster is here just to rest your hands on. Or for some of you, if you're more flexible, you might be able to rest your elbows on it. So again, finding what works for you. You might just be sitting nice and tall like this, or you might be able to come down a little bit lower, depending on your level of flexibility. And if you're really, really super flexible, you've been doing yoga for, I don't know how many years I've been doing it, you might be able to rest your head onto your arms there. If not in this life, maybe another lifetime. So just relax into it here. Let your shoulders relax. Think about pressing back through the sit bones. And notice the quality of your breath. Sometimes when we try too hard or we're uncomfortable, the breath will reflect. The breath always reflects what's going on in our body and our mind. And so come back to the breath. And as you inhale, maybe feel like the spine can lengthen a little bit. As you exhale, maybe you can find a place to let go a little bit. The shoulders release. Feel the shoulder blades sliding down your back. Feeling the stretch through the backs of the legs and the inner thighs. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, pressing yourself back up. And set the bolster aside and slide your legs back together again. If you want to kind of shake it out a little tiny bit, go ahead and do that. Wiggle. And then we're ready for the other side. So bending your left knee, releasing the knee out to the side, really supporting it with a block. And we start with the left hand on the knee there, and we do that, just that slight twist. It's not a full twist, it's just to reorient the upper body so it's facing out over the extended leg. Take a nice deep breath in, lengthen, and then exhale as you hinge forward. Either just keeping your fingertips on the ground there or deciding to use your strap. It's up to you. And again, depending on your level of flexibility, maybe you're at your fingertips, maybe you're able to grab onto your ankle or your foot and come more deeply into it. So please use your own wisdom and what's available to you. And once you find that sweet spot, just stay there and breathe. Remember that feeling, releasing the shoulders. Close your eyes, direct your awareness inwards. Feeling into both strong sensations of stretch here, and maybe more subtle sensations. Those tiny openings we get in our body as we breathe and wait. Let's take 2 more breaths in this posture. Inhale, coming back up. We move into gate pose on this side, so sliding the leg out to the side and then drawing that left foot in more. So staying grounded through both sit bones. And this is, again, we add the twist first. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take your right hand to your left knee here. I'm going to hold this for just a few breaths here, feeling that lovely sense of twisting and revolving, releasing through the back and spinal muscles. And adding the side stretch. Inhale that back arm, left arm all the way over. You let go of the knee. Place that right hand on the ground and the arm up and over towards the extended leg. Either keeping the arm extended or resting on your head if you'd like. But finding that way to feel that lovely long stretch through the rib cage and the side body. In this particular pose, you want to think about rooting back down through the left sit bone here. And then there's that slight twisting of the chest, if you can, up towards the ceiling. Again, lots to be aware of. And just enjoy the stretch wherever you are in this pose. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then inhale, stretching back up. Roll of your shoulders. And then re-extend both legs. Give it a little shake out here. And then just before we move into our Yoga Nidra practice, we'll release in windshield wiper pose. And you can do it from a sitting position if you like. Lean back on your hands. Bend your knees. Take your feet mat width apart. And then that gentle release from side to side. You should feel nice and open and released and ready for our Yoga Nidra practice. All right. So go ahead and get yourself nice and comfy. Whether you're going to lie on the floor or bed or couch. Your blanket ready. Eye pillow. Cushion for your head. Bolster underneath your knees. I think you all know how to prepare for Yoga Nidra now. So this evening, we're going to again, begin by orienting and surrendering to the ground and back to the earth as we usually do. And we'll take a journey through the body to relax and release all the different areas. And then we'll take that journey through the chakras, all the way from the root chakra all the way up through the crown chakra. And I'll be guiding you in some visualizations as well as some mantras to say in each of these chakras to really tune into the messages that our bodies might have in these as we listen to these different sacred centers in the body. And so stretching your legs out along the ground, letting the feet fall gently out from the ankles. Again, if you want to do a squeeze and release, maybe as you inhale, point your toes. As you exhale, relax the toes. So we're just squeezing and releasing both legs at the same time. And again, notice what the feeling of the pelvis is. You might want to inhale and squeeze the buttocks, pausing a moment. And as you exhale, let the weight of the pelvis release fully. Arms gently extended out to the side. And you might want to, as you inhale, make a fist with both hands. And as you exhale, relax. Find a way of rolling your shoulders under so you get that release across the chest and the heart center. Be aware of your facial muscles. Inhale, squeezing your eyes tightly closed, your cheeks, your forehead. And as you exhale, relaxing the face. And bring awareness to the feeling of the whole body now, the heaviness, the weightiness of your body. But also be aware of the feeling of breath and lightness in the front of your body. And inhaling the breath, and as you exhale, imagine the front of the body just gently settling and softening towards the back of the body. And then you might imagine all of your inner organs, all of the muscles, the bones, inhaling. And as you exhale, imagine everything settling into the back of your body. And maybe even imagining all the blood and the fluid in your body, inhaling. And as you exhale, the fluid in your body, which were mostly water, settles and pools into the back of your body. And feeling the sensation of the back of your body resting into the surface that you're lying on, inhaling the breath. And as you exhale, invite the back of the body to settle into the earth. Feeling like you could dissolve back to the earth. Be embraced by Mother Earth, held, supported. That sense of safety as a sleeping child. This is the energy of first chakra, that sense of safety and belonging. Let your whole body rest. Continue to feel the fluid movement of your breath. This invitation to slow down, to rest, to follow the map of your inner self to your true self. And bring awareness now to the feeling of the breath rising and falling in your belly. And let each breath be received into a softer and softer belly. And then directing that breath down through our legs and your feet. So inhale as the belly expands. Exhale, that relaxing energy flows down through your thighs, your knees, shins, ankles, feet. Just repeat that a few times, visualizing that energy releasing, unblocking, softening all the way down through the bottom soles of your feet. Releasing any areas that feel tight or uncomfortable. And feel your legs becoming heavier and heavier as they rest deeply into the earth. Bring your awareness now up into the heart center. Inhale from the heart center, broadening across the collarbones to your shoulders. Exhale, that energy flows freely all the way down through your arms and your hands. Inviting the hands to be very soft and open, receptive. And continuing with that visualization and sense of energy, inhaling from your heart center to your shoulders. Exhale, release anything that's left over in your shoulders, down to your arms, in your hands. And continuing with your own breath. Feeling your arms relaxed, balanced, heavy. And bring awareness now to the hips and the pelvis. Inhaling the breath. Exhale as you soften the buttocks, soften the pelvic floor, the weight of the pelvic bowl settling heavily back to the earth. Feel the fluidity of your breath throughout the hips and the pelvis. Bring awareness to the abdomen. Inhale as the abdomen rises and expands. Exhale as you soften through the abdominal layers, through the inner abdominal organs. Just allowing the energy to flow freely with no sense of control or impediment. Bring awareness a little higher into the solar plexus area as you inhale, feeling the rib cage expand, the lungs expand, and as you exhale, the lungs empty and the rib cage settles. Each breath, a complete cycle of filling and emptying. Bring awareness up into the chest and the heart center. Inhale, expand and creating space. And as you exhale, that sense of softening. Letting go of any sense of restriction or holding around your heart center. Breathing, releasing. On the entire front of your body, feeling that wave of breath. And each time you exhale, sending that relaxing energy to your back muscles, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. This effortless wave of breath, just like the waves of the ocean. And bring awareness now to your face, your beautiful face. Inhaling the breath. As you exhale, imagine the skin on your face softening and smoothing out, releasing any tension in the mouth, the jaw, and the cheeks, around the eyes, the forehead. Imagining your eyes relaxing back into your head. And just like we did with our inner organs, imagine your brain, your gray matter, relaxing back into the back of your skull. Not having to pay attention. And feel the weight of the head through the back of the skull, inhaling and exhaling. As the thinking mind begins to recede, the thinking and planning and analyzing mind, let all that melt back to the ground. And bring your awareness to your body as a whole, not just the separate parts. And again, feeling this sense of just resting and breathing and being. And bring your awareness back to that heavy feeling in your legs. And then more specifically, bring awareness to the space, the very base of your spine, Moulidara Chakra. Feeling that sense of heaviness, the earth energy. Feeling a sense of safety and belonging. And all of the chakras have different colors. The color of the Muladhara first chakra is red. So if you're a visual person and you want to imagine the color of red, a red mist in this area. And the mantra for this chakra is I am here, the message. I belong here. I deserve to have all of my physical needs met. And so just take a moment here as you focus on the root chakra, repeating silently to yourself, I am here. And just feel your here-ness, your beingness. Moving from the first chakra to the second chakra, Svadhisthana chakra. And just above the pubic bone and beneath the navel. Just feel and sense and breathe here. Remembering that the element of this chakra is water. So feel the fluidity of water, that wave-like feeling. The second chakra associated with our sexuality, our sensual beingness, our creative self, our ability to feel a whole range of emotions. And the color of the second chakra is orange. And the message or mantra is, I feel. I feel I'm open to all of my emotions. The sacredness of every single feeling I have. And so just repeating silently to yourself as you focus on Svadhisthana chakra. I feel. moving from the second chakra to the third chakra at the center of our solar plexus, Manipura Chakra, precious jewel, our power center. The color is a golden yellow. The element is fire, the fire of our willpower to take action in the world. And so the message or mantra here is, I act. I act. As you focus and repeat the mantra, simply be aware of any images or feelings that might come up for you. I act. What is my action in the world? What is right action? And so grounded in these three lower chakras, we move into the heart chakra, right at the center of our chest. And it's no mistake that the heart chakra sits at the very center of the chakra system. There's 3 chakras beneath and 3 chakras above, because everything moves in and through this center of love. Anahata Chakra. The unstruck or the unhurt place in us, our spiritual heart. A place that freely receives love and freely offers love. The color is green. Green grass, green trees. The element is air. So we're getting more and more subtle as we move up the chakra. Feel the lightness and the spaciousness of air in your heart center. And the message or mantra is, I love. I love. And from a place of love, we find our voice in the throat chakra. So bring your awareness to your throat. Maybe take a moment to swallow, to relax your throat muscles. The Shuddha chakra, the throat chakra. The color is blue, blue sky, blue ocean. The element is ether, so it's even more subtle than air. And this is a place where we give voice to our deepest truth. Our stories of deepest grief and sadness, and our stories of deep joy. The message or mantra is I speak. I speak. What is it that you want to give voice to? And from the throat, we move up into the sixth chakra, space between your eyebrows, sometimes called the third eye. And this is the place where we begin to see from a place of oneness instead of separateness, a place of wholeness. And so just soften the space between your eyebrows and just have a sense of breathing from there. The color is purple or indigo. This is our wisdom center. We connect to the timeless wisdom, the deeper knowing. It comes from a place beyond any of our senses. It is the wisdom of the ages. The message or mantra here is I know. I know. And the element is light. And finally bring awareness to the very crown of your head, Sahasrara Chakra, 1,000-petaled lotus. The lotus has bloomed out of the mud. The color is white, pure white, radiant light. Imagine breathing in that light through the crown of your head. This connection with the infinite, universal consciousness, oneness. And the message or mantra here is back to I am. But the I am that just is part of everything and everyone. I am. And finally, bring awareness to your whole body, sensing this rainbow of colors through all 7 of your chakras, this swirl of energy. And bring your awareness right down to the bottom soles of your feet. Again, imagine that you could breathe in and out through the bottom soles of your feet. And so we're going to be doing just a little bit more energy work to clear out the pathway of the chakras. So imagine breathing in through the soles of your feet all the way up to your heart center. Pause a moment. As you exhale, continue that journey up, right up through the crown of the head, and let that energy release into the air. And on your next inhale, draw that energy, that light in through the crown chakra, right down into your heart center. And then as you exhale, send it on down through your body and through your feet. So inhale through your feet, all the way up your legs, up to your heart center. Exhale from your heart center all the way up through the crown and out through the crown of the head. Inhale back in through the crown of the head. Pause a moment in your heart center. And then exhale again all the way out through your legs and your feet. So continue that pattern of breathing and visualizing for a few more breaths. And the next time you inhale into your heart center, just stay there. And feel the sense of breathing from your heart center. The love expanding out in all directions. Perhaps just dipping in or tasting into that sense of timeless awareness of your true self. Staying relaxed. Continuing to feel that sense of resting deeply into the earth, held, supported, loved. Perhaps beginning to deepen your breath. And if you're coming out of the practice, beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes, or just deciding to stay where you are. If there's any other stretches you need to make, go ahead and stretch. Maybe hug your knees in, maybe take a little twist. Again, listening to what it is your body needs. Remembering if you're coming out of this practice to roll over onto your side first and rest a moment or two before you come back to seated. And as you come back to seated, just taking a moment to feel and sense into your experience. As we work with the chakras and the energy system, we begin to tune into, sometimes we might have an experience, one particular energy center needs more attention, or feels, really tingly. So just things to be aware of, and trusting that it is a practice that takes time to understand both the philosophy behind it as well as the sensing into the uniqueness of our own body and experience. And yet it's one more map of healing to bring us closer to our true self. And so we'll close off with our chant for the peace and well-being of all. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Let's repeat it 3 times. Sometimes it's nice to imagine repeating it for yourself the first time, and the second time repeat it for a friend or loved one that needs some extra prayers and attention, and the third time for the whole world, and especially some of the countries that are suffering so much with COVID at this time. Dear India, and even our own country, Canada. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be blessed with peace, with joy, with health, and well-being. Namaste.